All right. All right. All right. Now, Guy, before we get into it, before we get started with this episode, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Today I found myself in the default Windows background, so that's a fun time. I moved all
You get
my
stuck there?
yeah. I'm stuck here, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need to like Rick and Morty portal my way out of here or something. I moved all the desktop icons away, so it like made more sense. But
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. But you could use them to climb out.
yeah, I wish I brought my golf clubs because this is like nice, golfing territory here too.
That's true. That's true.
hmm
Yeah. Well, while you're in the rolling field, I'm in my new corner office. I bought just for this.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Is that Chicago?
Yes. Maybe.
Could be.
Actually, no idea. Let me get close.
Where am I?
I don't know. I think that's the most generic city ever. Anyway,
Yeah.
if you're
It's
listening-
nice though. You got a lot of windows.
Oh, absolutely. Nice corner office. But anyway, if you're confused, if you're listening and you're confused, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, we are on Skype right now, if you couldn't tell. We are going to see Black Panther tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, or whenever we usually record. So instead of doing our usual recording, we're on Skype.
Yeah.
And you're going to see the midseason awards and predictions later. But actually, how are you doing besides being stuck there? Good?
Yeah, doing good, doing good. How about yourself?
Not bad, not bad. I was supposed to have a meeting tonight. Got canceled very last minute, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's a better feeling than like this could have been done on an email kind of thing.
Yeah, and it was done on an email. It just was day of. It's
Yeah.
okay. But I was able to get the gym, get to relax a little bit before the pod, so that's good. It's better than
Gotcha.
being in a meeting. So,
Yeah, true that,
Um,
true that.
absolutely. All right, but yeah. Once again, if you're listening and you want to look at our goofy backgrounds and watch us for once, this episode is actually on YouTube. So our YouTube channel is Dairy J Sports. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into the news. We're just going to do one quick rundown for the people.
Yeah.
Start with college football. So we have our second college football playoff rankings released.
Yeah,
There's
that
been some
dog.
movement. Well, yeah. Honestly, so I do have some notes on the whole thing. But just off the top, we have number 1 Georgia, number 2 Ohio State, number 3 Michigan, number 4 TCU, number 5 Tennessee, so we went from 1 to 5, and number 6 Oregon. Alabama got bumped, but we'll get into that in a second. First game, I want to recap. Georgia beat Tennessee 27-13 at home, which caused Tennessee to be bumped out of the top 4. Tennessee, from this point out, has a very easy schedule. So
Yeah.
I think as long as they don't drop a games like I think they have like Vanderbilt, Mizzou, and another team that's like not good this year. But yeah, so if they just win out from this point on, I think they'll be back in before it's all said and done.
Yeah. I mean, is TCU like? I mean, I'm assuming they're good because they're in the top 4, but like, it just felt like a kind of slap in the face for Tennessee. Knocking them out completely.
They're undefeated.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
undefeated in the Big 12, so that's why they're in the top 4. They're probably gonna win the Big 12. However, a good transition. I'll talk about TCU real quick. I don't think they're going to end up being in the college football playoffs by the end of the year. The next couple games, I think the next 2 games they play at Texas and at Baylor. Texas is in the top 25 ranked. Baylor is not. Baylor is also pretty tough, and they're both in their conference. So like you never really know with conference games. It could go either way. So I don't see TCU winning both those games. If they lose one of those 2 games, Tennessee's going to reclaim their spot, I think.
Yeah,
for sure. Because Tennessee, like I said, they're going to have one loss against with their schedule. They beat LSU. They beat Alabama. They lost by like 2 touchdowns to Georgia. And they beat Pitt, who was ranked at the time. So like their resume is way better than TCU's because they played like a lot of tough opponents and still only have 1 loss.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be top 4 by the end of it.
All right.
And over to Alabama. Alabama lost to LSU in overtime, which knocked them down to 9 from 5 to 9. And LSU went from 10 to 7. So LSU should win out from this point on. So there's a very tiny chance that we can somehow have a 2-loss team in the college football playoffs. Because LSU has some quality wins. And I think if like people just start losing left and right, they might squeak in. Especially because I think Michigan and Ohio State, they're in the playoffs right now, both of them. That's always the last game of the season, Michigan versus Ohio State. They haven't really had a tough schedule so far this year. I guess Penn State was like both their like toughest games at this point. So what I think we could see whoever loses that game loses out in the top 4 by the end of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 3 games left, so like I think Alabama's going to be out of it by now. Clemson's definitely out of it. So Clemson lost to Notre Dame. They got crushed by Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Notre Dame wasn't even ranked.
Yeah, it was a stomping.
Clemson was what 3 or 4, and Notre Dame wasn't ranked at all. And they just whooped their ass. Notre Dame is now ranked in the top 25, but Clemson they have no chance of making the playoffs at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They give it to, even if TCU lost, they'd give it to them over TCU over them. Like there's so many better one-loss teams like Oregon and USC. I can see whoever wins the Pac-12 making it over Clemson, everything like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting year for sure.
But yeah, there's 3 games left, so we'll see what happens because I think it's gonna come down to the wire. All right, that's all I got for college football.
Yeah.
Take it over to baseball real quick. Baseball, the World Series wrapped up. Congrats, your Astros won.
Yeah, thank God, man.
You gonna get a championship hat?
Probably not because I was a bandwagon fan, but no, it's just like I love, like I feel like there wasn't that much slander for them winning though. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, people were like, you know, talking shit the day of, but a week later, I feel like I haven't heard much like slander about the Astros.
No, because I think this title was kind of their end. You know, they're back in good graces. They won legitimately this time. So I think it's kind of the mantra of them cheating is kind of over at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a tough game, that last game though. It came down to the wire.
Yes, so final was 4-1. But it was kind of like slow score the entire time. It was like very late when it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, they won 4-2 in the series. The last game was 4-1 in Houston. I forget the exact stat, but I did hear this is the first time in like 4 or 5 years that the winning team won in their own stadium.
Wow. I didn't realize it. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was in Houston.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy Pena won the MVP. He's a rookie shortstop. I have some stats, but I need to find them real quick. Sorry. He went 10 for 25 with a homer and 3 RBIs in the series. In Game 6, he had a hit and he got a hit and he scored in the big 3-run swing at the end. And let's see, he is the second rookie to do this, and he joins the list of the few people who won the LCS series and the World Series MVPs because he won the MVP for the ALCS. The only people to do it are Willie Stargell, Darryl Porter. I don't know how to say that name. I'm going to try. Livin Hernandez, Cole Hamels, David Freese, Madison Bumgarner, and Corey Seager. So
okay.
Yeah, it's a short list, and he's a rookie who did it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The other thing about baseball, real quick, is the all the awards will be announced next week. But as of right now, I have the finalists for each award for MLB awards. So first one to be announced is going to be Monday. It's the Jackie Robinson Rookies of the Year. The nominees for that. Oh, never mind. It's backwards. Sorry. I'm reading it off of this website, and it jumped on me. Manager of the Year. Rookie of the Year. All right. NL Rookie of the Year nominees are Brendan Donovan from the Cardinals, Michael Harris from the Braves, and Spencer Strider from the Braves. The AL Rookie of the Year options are Stephen Kwong from the Guardians, Julio Rodriguez, and Aldi Rushman. I don't know any of these people. The managers of the year is Terry Francona from the Guardians, Brandon Hyde from the Orioles, and Scott Servais from the Mariners. Then from the NL, it's Dave Robertson from the Dodgers, Buck Showalter from the Mets, and Brian Nick Kerr from the Braves.
All right.
MVP from the actually Cy Young from the AL options are Dylan Cease from the White Sox, Alec Manoah from the Blue Jays, and Justin Verlander from the Astros. And then from the NL is Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins, Max Fried from the Braves, and Julio Urias from the Dodgers. And all these names are definitely mispronounced. So like people are like,
That's what we do best, just mispronouncing names.
I have no idea how to pronounce people's names. I know these people too. I just don't know how to pronounce their names. The AL MVP options is Jordan Alvarez from the Astros, Aaron Judge obviously from the Yankees, and Shohei Ohtani is obviously from the Angels. Like it's gonna be one of those two. I mean, I think they're gonna give it to Judge, even though I think
you gotta.
I think it should go to Shohei, but I think they're definitely gonna give it to Judge for the awards. For all the records, I mean, he broke. And then from the NL, the options are Paul Goldschmidt from the Cardinals, your favorite player from the Cardinals, Nolan Arenado.
Arenado.
Then Manny Machado from the Padres. So that's it.
Okay.
That's baseball talk.
Talking baseball.
Talking baseball, and people who actually want to hear us talk baseball is gonna be pissed. That's why I'm not even gonna put it in the description. But yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna take it over to NBA real quick. No segments for here. That's why I kind of did that pause there for a second. I kind of forgot what we're doing. Yeah, NBA full swing. I just want to say right now it's still very weird. I feel like all the teams that should be at the top aren't at the top, and all the teams that shouldn't be at the top are at the top still.
#Jazz.
Yeah, Jazz, dude. I don't get it. We'll talk about the power rankings because they're in the top 10 still, but it's just like I like the Jazz, but like I just don't get it. Right off the top, we have our players of the week. From the West, we have Paul George. He had 33 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. And from the East, you have Durant. You love PG-13. And then you have my boy, my other fantasy league. From the East, Kevin Durant, 30.8 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. The Clippers went 3-1, and the Nets went 3-1 last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're both killing it. But it's nice because all the players of the week have been like different people, but they're always the usual suspects so far.
Yeah.
I
mean, it made sense for Paul George because Kawhi is like doing this load management thing a lot now. So Paul George is just stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not the playoffs, so he's actually good.
He did good last year in the playoffs.
He did do good last year. He really kind of took away the playoff P thing.
Yeah.
And shit, but still, he played good.
Yeah.
All right, injuries this week. Obviously, with NBA, there's a lot of missing games here for like a rolled ankle. So I try not to talk about those too much because it's kind of it'd be just like literally every day someone new. Like the list would be a million.
Yeah. No, I gotcha.
But all the bigger ones, we got Pascal Siakam is out indefinitely with an abductor strain. He'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, indefinitely is always one of those words that makes it sound like it's way worse. I feel like it couldn't be those 2 weeks. It's
I think we mentioned that last week too. Yeah.
Yeah, when I hear like out indefinitely, I'm like, dude, that guy's never playing again. Just from the sounding of indefinitely.
So long. Happy trails.
But it just means they don't know yet.
Yeah.
So silly. One injury we do know is Cam Johnson from the Suns is out 1 to 2 months after undergoing meniscus surgery. He's been absolutely killing it this year so far. So it's kind of a blow to the Suns, who've been playing very well. But I'll talk about the power rankings. They a lot of the other guys are stepping up, like Torrey Craig.
Cam Johnson like being hurt is going to break the team.
Yeah, it's not Devin Booker. It's like he's been playing very well as like the fourth option even. Because you got, I'd probably say Devin's number 1, Ayton's number 2, Chris Paul's number 3, then Cam Johnson or Mikal Bridges. or like the next best person. So it's like you're missing your fourth best player, but he has been playing really good. He has been playing really good this year, so it is kind of a blow.
Yeah.
And then the last injury is LeBron says he has foot pain that quote only rest can heal, but he said fuck it anyways, and he's playing tonight. What a soldier,
Dude.
what a soldier.
I know he said this before, but if I wasn't a fan of LeBron like throughout my life, I could not support him now.
You put a pause on that.
Yeah. Okay.
My last headline's all about LeBron. So
Okay. Gotcha.
Just gotta wait on it. All right, let's get over headlines. I don't have a deep three because we're kind of doing this short version. I could three of these headlines are definitely deep three headlines, but
Okay.
I'm trying to go through them faster. Off the top, the Celtics set a franchise record for most threes in a game on Saturday. They also became the only team to ever have every single player make a three. Dude played. That's crazy. Because against the Knicks. It's against the Knicks. That's why I have it.
Okay.
But no trivia. No trivia.
I'm feeling a trivia there.
No, there's no trivia. It's the most threes by a team in a game, and then it's not really like a trivia question because they're the only team ever to do is they had every single person who played any minutes in the game hit a three. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks, they didn't have a great week, but it wasn't
your
terrible.
backup center hitting a three. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
They play small ball. That's why they're able to do it. But still, what were you saying? Sorry.
I mean the Knicks, they kind of had a shit week, but like it wasn't like the worst. Like they had a couple of wins. I think they went like 2-2 or something, but the losses were bad. The wins were reputable.
Yeah, I think they lost to your favorite team too, the Hawks, last week.
Yeah, but I think they beat the Grizzlies.
I think they did too.
Yeah.
But I haven't been keep up with the Knicks, but I think so.
One of those blue teams. It was either them or the Mavs.
Yeah. All right, next. A follow-up on the Kyrie story real quick. So he can play again after, I said this last week, after he completes a checklist from the team where they released what the checklist is.
Oh, God.
So, yeah. So the Nets have delivered Kyrie Irving 6 items that he must complete before he can return to the team. 1, an apology / condemning the movie. 2, a $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes. 3, sensitivity training. 4, anti-Semitic training.
They have training for that?
Meet with ADL Jewish leaders. And then finally meet with Joe. I don't know how to say the Nets owner's name. It's TSAI. How would you say that? TSAI.
TSAI?
Yeah, I felt it's like Psy.
Psy, yeah.
It's like the T's are silent.
Yeah. Psy.
Okay, well, we'll go with that. Joe Psy to demonstrate understanding. So at the end of all this, he has to meet with the owner and like, all right, so what did you learn? And Kyrie has to like
write a 5-paragraph essay in cursive.
Yeah, it's like he has to come with a PowerPoint and he has to like tell him like why what he did was bad.
He may never play again.
I think he'll do it, but there is some GMs that you're saying that they're anonymous that have been coming out telling reporters that they don't think Kyrie's gonna play again.
Yeah.
Because if Kyrie just doesn't do this and then tells the Nets to kick rocks, the Nets will probably drop him, and then no one's gonna touch him at that point.
Yeah, it would want to.
It was hey, condemn your actions that was anti-Semitic. No. Okay, fine. Like what team's gonna pick that up? And I also read too today that he met with Adam Silver today to talk about what he did and like why it's wrong.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in that meeting.
Yeah, apparently it's productive, but it's just.
Oh, I'm sure they said it was productive. Yeah,
Adam Silver has way more important things on his hands than telling Kyrie why tweeting a link to an anti-Semitic movie is bad. It's just ridiculous. But all right, enough about Kyrie. I'm done with Kyrie. Let's stick with the Nets real quick. They, after all, are not going to be hiring Ime. Instead, they are going to stick with their interim head coach, Jacques Vaughn, who's been doing pretty good since he taken over. Obviously, I said earlier with KD, they were 3-1 last week, so that's pretty much all of Vaughn's like tenure so far.
Yeah.
So I mean, Yeah, if they're going to keep him around instead of getting Ime, that's probably a good sign that they like the direction he's bringing everything.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's more to the whole Ime thing then? Or do you think it is really because this guy's doing well?
I think it's this guy's doing well and they just want to keep it in-house. And if they didn't like sign him an extension or anything, they just said he's going to finish out the season, which is a whole season pretty much because it's early.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of a, hey, let's just see where this goes. And if we don't like him, we'll fire him and hire Ime in the offseason. Because I don't think anyone's going to be hiring Ime mid-season. Especially because we're getting to a point where, yes, you can come in and start holding a system, but it's better to do so in the offseason than it is. Like, it's like at this point, I don't see someone getting fired mid-season and then hiring someone that is an assistant coach to finish out the season.
And making a deep playoff run.
Exactly. So I think Ime is still going to be there.
Okay.
In the offseason, if he doesn't go back to Celtics, which if this guy's he's doing pretty good, they'll probably just get the job. But
plus, it gives you time to like let the Ime situation work itself out. You know, if anything more comes from it, it buys you some time there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on. It's always a tough look whenever your team loses, and the next morning you get an L2M report coming out about it. So like L2M is the last 2 minutes. For people who don't know, it's the report that happens after every game with a controversial call that basically explains, yeah, we messed up, or yeah, we nailed it. Like it's like it happens every time there's a big play. And last week, Jeremy Grant hit a buzzer beater 3 for the Trailblazers against, I want to say, the Suns, was it? Yeah, against the Suns. And then literally the next morning, it comes out and said, yeah, he traveled. He shouldn't have counted.
Oh man,
that sucks.
Yeah,
that's a tough. Yeah, imagine like your team losing because of like a BS call, and then the next day the league's like, yeah, you guys should have won, but it doesn't do anything. And so like,
and they're running like a promotion for it, like this L2M, like.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Like I think it even happened again since I wrote this one down. I don't remember what. It was like something to do with like a late game foul that shouldn't have been called or something like that.
That's like OJ Simpson writing the book, like If I Did It.
Yeah, no, that's literally what it is. Like
same energy.
Down says, hey, yeah, remember that like call that we reviewed and like we said no, it stands as called. Yeah, no, that shouldn't have stand as called. It's like,
yeah, we lied to their fucking faces.
Yeah, I know. It's so it's stupid and it sucks when you're on the other end of that. Next, Steve Kerr says the perfect NBA season would only be 65 games, and not 82. He also in the quote said, "There's no way the league would go underneath 70 if they do take the games away." But his reasoning for shortening it is actually a good reason that like people have been like kind of like solved forever. And they said like when we rest players because we have 82 games, if we have it 65 games, we won't have to rest players. So every single game you go to and buy tickets for, you're going to have the best players from each team playing, opposed to like, hey, you just bought this expensive ticket to the Warriors game. Well, guess what? Steph's not playing because we have a back-to-back yesterday. And
the thing is, people still buy those tickets. So
they do. And the league has talked about going down. I don't see it's not profitable to go down. So I don't see the NBPA is probably pushing for the games reduced, but the league isn't because the league that's losing money. But you never know because Adam Silver's also like a pushover for the players.
What if you expanded the playoffs but shortened the season?
That'd be cool. Nah, actually, I don't want the playoffs longer than they are.
I'm just thinking like you have the play-in tournament anyways. So what if you make it 10 teams?
I wouldn't like that.
I know it's weird.
I like the 8 teams. Because I like not having buys too in the NBA.
Yeah.
Playoffs that's like the only league that doesn't do that, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Hockey doesn't either. But they messed around with it for a little bit. I guess like the buys would be for everyone who's not in the playing game. You get 2 days off.
Yeah, and buys in the NBA or like any sport with like multi-game series in the playoffs, you could be out like a week and a half. Like
yeah, that just causes rust and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For football, it's great because you need the time to recover. But for basketball and hockey and even baseball, I'd argue like buys aren't good.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Mark Tatum, the NBA deputy commish, said that if the league ever did decide to expand, which Adam Silver kind of teased a little bit a couple years ago, they said one of the cities that would be a lock for a team is Mexico City. I don't love that.
I think Seattle's at the top of that list.
Well, I think Seattle would be the other one then, so it means the two teams would be Mexico City and Seattle. I don't like that, but I think there's other cities that would like it.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I actually don't. I wrote a whole paper about how I think Pittsburgh would not do well with an NBA team.
No, yeah.
Because it's just at this point, like no one cares about this. We're not a basketball city at all.
Yeah, true.
So like half the fans, you'd only get like half the people who like the Steelers and the Penguins, especially if we have a really bad expansion team, because those teams struggle for years at first.
Those times, yeah.
Yeah, like do you think like a city that's already not like revved up about basketball, they wouldn't like it unless it's an already like built team?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
Like let's like I don't know, like Louisville or somewhere in Kentucky. Kentucky's a huge place for basketball. There's no NBA team there. That's like a big miss in the like even just the Midwest in general. Like they need another team there because that's very Indiana, huge basketball like state in general. There's no NBA team. Pacers, but like I forgot about the Pacers for a second. But so Kentucky, I think
Kentucky a bit big. Yeah.
Kansas City, they had the Kings back in the day. That's where the Kings came from. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. But Mexico City, I guess. And they want to get more international. They only have the Raptors right now, so I guess. All right. And finally, the last one, LeBron. So this past week, LeBron showed up to a post-game interview wearing the same suit that Takeoff wore in like the one like red carpet or something like that. During the interview, he said that he loved to listen to Migos when he first came to Miami in 2010, and Migos, he's showing everybody Migos and all this stuff. Well, Migos didn't release any music until 2011, so that's just kind of a lie. So that just kind of sparked the whole internet, the whole Twitterverse going off, like, because LeBron just lies about stuff that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
like they're harmless little lies, but like they started making compilations of like all the times he did, made memes of it. So I just want to go through some of the times LeBron James lied.
Okay.
So first, he was the Takeoff stuff. Like he kind of lied for no reason. The next one is he's been said multiple times that The Godfather is his favorite movie of all time. So one time a reporter, just as an anecdote, said, "What's your favorite scene from The Godfather?" And LeBron was like, "I mean, there's so many good scenes. I can't even. There's too many good ones." Like without giving an answer. So he's obviously never seen The Godfather, even though he says that's his favorite movie ever. Number two. He said he was reading this book and how it was super impactful and everything. And a reporter asked like what messages was his favorite from the book, and he just said he just started it. Like he got basically called out. He made like he's like in the first.
My favorite book.
It's so impactful. On the first chapter. Yeah, it's so funny. Number three. This is a big last one. This one been getting memed a lot too. On top of the Takeoff stuff. He said he was watching Kobe's 81-point game in high school with his buddies, and as soon as the game started, he called out that Kobe was going to go for 70, and then after he got 70, he was going to go for 80. And then I'm pretty sure I read on this thread and all over Twitter that game wasn't nationally televised, so there's no way that LeBron and his friends could have been watching the Kobe game from the beginning, because there's an argument that it could have been like patched in because Kobe was making history, but he said he watched at the beginning of the game. He said, "Wait, watch, Kobe's gonna go for 70." So there's literally no way that he would be able in Akron, Ohio, at that time, put on the Kobe game unless they got sliced into at the end of the game. So it's just a complete lie. It's just funny. I mean, like you kind of alluded to, we've talked about before. We love LeBron, and these are harmless. These aren't like, oh my god, what a piece of shit. These are just little harmless little lies. They're funny, but I understand why people don't like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, this is another one I forgot. Is on the shop, and some guy was talking about like, yeah, my my coach always told me, then just said something random, and LeBron said, "Oh yeah, that's my favorite saying." Here, I'll play.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I had one coach, and he used to say, "Put yourself in situations where you're not comfortable."
Oh yeah, that's my favorite saying.
That's my favorite saying. Oh, there's another one I forgot about too. He After he bought Liverpool, he went on some British show, like his morning show, to talk about it. And they're like asking about Liverpool, and one of the anchors, one of the people asking him, is an ex-Liverpool like legend, and he's saying, I always liked watching Liverpool, all this stuff. And meanwhile, this guy was like played for Liverpool for years. He's like interviewing him, and then the coach like, he played, right? And LeBron went, I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, like, it's so funny.
I mean, I'll give him credit though. He plays it off like tremendously. Like in the moment, he never gets flustered. Like he always knows when to deliver the line to sell the lie, but he's lying still.
Yeah, and like it's not like that harmful. His lies aren't harmful.
Yeah,
he's literally just trying to be more likable.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole Migos thing, I feel like that was just like I just misremembered the year thing. I mean, he was off by like a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. He could
still be in Miami.
He'd still be Miami whenever Migos was releasing stuff. He was there until 2014. So like he could have been. He was definitely there when Versace dropped and was like super popular. So he could just be he probably was a big Migos fan, probably friends with all of them. So it's definitely sad for him. So it's cool he's honoring them. But yeah, I just misremembered a year. But still, it's just so funny. All the memes there are so funny too. Like I saw one where it's like the Kobe thing, like a meme saying, I told Abe not to go to that play. Like I told him, like the play's not worth it, man, and he went anyway. Like it's just like them talking about like old historical events. Like I told JFK not to go to that parade. Like it's just so funny.
Oh man.
But yeah, so that's all I got for my headlines. Like I said, no deep three. That could have been a deep three, but just trying to sit down here. Let's rattle through these power rankings and pass it over to you for NFL. Off the top, number 1, the Bucks. They're 9-1. First in the East. The Bucks finally lost after winning their first 9 games of the season. They've been playing so well all year, even without Middleton. They also have the best defensive rating in the league as of right now. The Bucks are sweet. Number 2, standard Bucks. The Bucks are the Bucks. Number 2, the Cavs are 8-2, second in the East. The Cavs are league's top-ranked bench this season, which is great for longevity. I did put the Cavs as a playoff team. They're looking more like contenders than they are a playoff team. I mean, Spider's been killing it for them. Darius Garland came back last week. Everyone's kind of being healthy. Kevin Love's playing well off the bench, which is big reason why their bench is the best, like, top-rated bench so far. Yeah, I mean, the Cavs are just a juggernaut right now. Number 3, we got the Suns. They're 7-3, second in the West. The good news is Cam Johnson's been playing well. The bad news, he's out for 1 to 2 months. We kind of talked about him. Torrey Craig's played all right, like in his absence. But the Suns are still, like we said, he's not the top 3 guys on the team, so it doesn't really matter. Number 4, we got the Jazz. They're 9-3. They're first in the West. I don't know why, but the Jazz are just still like playing amazing.
Knows why?
Yeah. They have been great so far from long range, which is a big, huge part of their success. They are 9-0 when they outshoot their opponents from 3. That's crazy, dude. They're 9-0.
They're gonna be 3 games they lost. I think.
What?
I think they're gonna make the playoffs.
I'm at this point thinking they are too. Like whether or not they make it,
I think play it.
Yeah, the very least will be the play-in at this point. I mean, Jordan Clarkson's playing good. They're all playing. Laurie Markkin's playing elite. They're all shooting from 3 great. So I don't know. It's great. They're killing it. My part-time Jazz fan is very proud. Number 5, the Trailblazers are 7-3. They're third in the West. The Blazers are 2-2 without Damian in the lineup. I don't know why I said Damian. It's either Dame or Damian Lillard. I don't know why I said Damian. So they're 2-2 without Dame in the lineup. That's not bad considering that they played the Suns twice, and then the Rockets and the Grizzlies in those 4 games. So the fact that they can walk out of that juggernaut 2-2 without Damian Lillard is pretty solid. As I mentioned, they hit that buzzer beater against the Suns that shouldn't have gone in because it would have been traveling, but oh well. Next we have the number 6, the Celtics. They're 7-3, third in the East. They don't produce a lot of turnovers. They have the best transition defense in the league. So their defense has been struggling in some areas, great in others, and their offense is obviously clicking at all cylinders. So Celtics are the Celtics. Number 7, the Hawks. They're 7-3, fourth in the East. Trae Young had a boo-boo on his face and missed some time, but it's fine because Dejounte Murray carried the team 27.7 points per game in Young's absence. That's why you go out and trade for someone like that, just because Trae Young's hurt, then it's another dominant guard who can just fill right in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I hate the Hawks, so fuck them. Number 8, we got the Nuggets, 7-3, fourth in the West. It's nice to have Jamal Murray back. He's been averaging 19 points in the last week, which means he's starting to get his feel back for the game. I think he's still averaging 15 points a game on the season, but the fact that he's been out scoring consistently his average right now just means he's kind of getting back in the rhythm.
He's improving.
I think Mike Malone called I said Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic is like peanut butter and jelly. Okay, cool.
Which one's peanut butter? I think Joker's peanut butter.
No, I think I'm definitely. Well, I would say that in the sense of like I like peanut butter better, but I think Joker is just like jelly, the Joker jelly. He's just big and fluffy and kind of out of shape. He has to be the jelly. And
He's like
Murray's
chunky
smooth
peanut
like
butter.
What?
He's like chunky peanut butter.
Yeah, but then Jamal Murray's smooth, like smooth, creamy peanut butter.
Wow, double peanut butter?
Just peanut butter sandwich? I love peanut butter.
I couldn't do a peanut butter sandwich.
I love peanut butter sandwiches. All right, moving on. Number 9, the Mavericks, 6-3, they're 5th in the West. I want to move on past peanut butter sandwich talk because I didn't eat dinner yet. I'm so hungry. Anyway, so Luka joined Wilt Chamberlain as the only player to ever score 30 points in his first 9 games of the season. That's insane.
Yeah.
I think a stat I said a couple weeks ago too was he was on the same pace as Jordan, but Jordan only did for the first 6 games. Luka kept going to 9 with Wilt. So I don't know if he's playing tonight. If he scores 30 tonight, he'd be the longest streak to start the season, 30-plus point games.
Yeah, Luka's insane, man.
I wish I'd picked him for MVP instead of Embiid. He's been playing crazy. I'm just seeing if
Luka was also due for sure.
So the Mavericks did play already today, and where's this last week? Oh, sorry. I just want to see if he got 30 points. No, that's today. Why are they done already? That's weird. Luka had 24 points, so he did not get the sole possession. The finally number 10, the Grizzlies. They're 7-4, 6th in the West. The Grizzlies haven't been great defensively, as I mentioned last week. However, so far this month, they're able to go from allowing 119 points per game to 99.7 points. Well, no, per 100 possessions. So that's a crazy drop off. That means their defense improved drastically this past week. They didn't play anyone good this past week, but still, it's like that's such a big jump.
And JJJ's still out, so
yeah, that's just a big jump. And
back, it's going to be even better.
Even if they play nobody, I think it still shows that their game defense is improving.
Question though, I just thought of this. Like, how are the Timberwolves doing?
Oh, let's look. They're doing pretty good. Like every time I make my power rankings, I look at other power rankings just to see if what I'm saying is kind of ridiculous or if it's kind of on the same page. Like I have 2 references.
Yeah.
And Timberwolves are all around the 10 spot for a lot of people. Okay. So they're playing good too. I'll pull up the standings.
Well. I was just curious because the whole Gobert move. I haven't really heard much of them. Like we haven't really talked about Timberwolves much on the pod, so I was just curious.
Yeah. So they're 10th in the West right now.
Okay.
They're on a bad losing streak right now. But I'm looking up just the stats. Karl-Anthony Towns, 22 points for Karl-Anthony Towns, 22 points for Anthony Edwards, 12. So Rudy Gobert only has 12, but he's also averaging 14 rebounds per game, which is insane.
And that's what he's there for. Yeah.
That's why he's there. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're just like kind of like the other teams out there who are struggling early for no reason.
No, I agree. All right.
Yeah. But it did say the Knicks just beat them, and the Knicks right now, if the season's ending right now, the Knicks are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're eighth in the East.
Yeah.
But at a super hot 5 for 5. But they're also losing by 14 points right now to the Nets. So,
damn.
Sorry.
Oh well. All right. Anything else for NBA?
No.
All right. Take it over to the NFL. All right.
Yeah. Feel.
NFL. So starting off with a week 9 recap, just real quick going through these 1:00 games. Patriots beat the shit out of the Colts 26-3. We both had the Patriots, both got that point. Lions beat the Packers. We both had the Packers, and we both lost that point. Packers just couldn't score. End of the game. Packers they're done. They're done. They're cooked. Stick a fork in them. Chargers held on to beat the Falcons 20-17. I had the Chargers, you had the Falcons, so I got that point. Then I'd say this is upset of the week, but if you look at it on paper, the records are kind of similar. But the Jets beat the Bills 20-17. We both had the Bills, both missed that point. Jets are back. Then Vikings versus the Commanders. The Vikings won 20-17. We both had the Vikings, both got that point. Then the Bengals curb stomped the Panthers 42-21. We both had the Bengals. We both got that point. The Jags came back on the Raiders. More on that later, but we both had the Raiders, so we both lost that point. Then this is probably game of the week, I'd say, but Dolphins versus the Bears. The Dolphins won 35-32. We both had the Dolphins, both got that point. Then taking over the 4:00 games, the Seahawks. I don't even know if it's an upset anymore, but they beat the Cardinals 31-21. We both had the Cardinals, both missed that point. Then we had the Rams versus the Buccaneers. I had the Bucs, you had the Rams, so I got that point because the Bucs won 16-13. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs beat the Titans in a close one, 20-17. We both had the Chiefs, both got that point. And then Monday Night Football, the Ravens essentially beat the shit out of the Saints, 27-13. We both had the Ravens there. And that's week 9. All right. Injuries, taking it over to.
Wait.
Oh, yeah,
I just want to go over 2 things. The 2 points you got that I didn't get were just hell to watch.
For what?
The Falcons, Chargers.
That was a crack pick.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the Falcons, they were so close. I didn't put them on the wing of the week, but did you see whenever was it Taquan Smith or something like that picked up the Austin Eckler fumble that would have like gave the win to the Falcons, then he fumbled and gave the ball right back to the Chargers in the same way.
It's crazy.
I didn't put it that way of the week, but that just sucked. And then the Rams Bucks, that just was awful too. But,
that was just an awful game. 2 bad teams. But anyways, taking over the injuries. Keeping it quick this week, so I only mentioned the 2 big ones. First up, Cardinals safety Budda Baker is expected to miss multiple weeks with a high ankle sprain. So the Cardinals defense is already struggling. Now they're going to be struggling more with this injury. Then Bills quarterback Josh Allen had an elbow injury in the loss of the Jets. He played through the rest of the game, but you could tell it was definitely affecting him. The injury is being presented as minor, but his week 10 status is in question. I don't know if anything's been confirmed yet. You haven't fantasy.
Yeah, they did rule out severe injury, so it's literally just a little minor sprain.
Yeah, so he may miss week 10, but that's it.
Yeah, that like I think it's pointing towards he's playing.
It's a big game, Bills Vikings, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know their backup's Case Keenum. I still think with that Bills the whole way. Never mind, we'll get that later. But I think if they wanted to like baby it a week and set out, I think he could.
Yeah. Taking it over to the headlines, leading off, the Colts fired their head coach Frank Reich. Reich.
Yeah, Reich. It's like not a good thing to compare it to, but it's like the Third Reich. It's just pronounced like that.
So during this time, during this past week, the Colts also named former alumni Jeff Saturday as their interim head coach. Currently, at the time when I was writing this, there was no coach on the roster ever called plays before. So that was Jeff Saturday's first responsibility. Since then, Jeff did announce that Parks Frazier, their quarterback coach, will be calling the plays.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do we think about Jeff Saturday? I'm not big on it personally.
So I was my second favorite team was the Colts back then, because I'm a big Peyton Manning guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like Jeff Saturday, great center. His only head coaching experience he has is in a Georgia high school football team, and they went like 3-10.
Okay.
Good bad 3-10.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
high school.
Exactly. If you can't even coach a high school team, how's he supposed to coach a NFL team?
So I did hear a crazy theory about this.
Well, I heard the theory too. Good.
Aaron Rodgers to the Colts.
Oh no, I have a different theory. Okay.
So Aaron Rodgers obviously stinking. Maybe the Packers just decide, hey, maybe we just end it with Rodgers. Maybe he requests a trade. Something takes place, and they get rid of him. Trade him to the Colts, who could use a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, good quarterback. Jeff Saturday was the center for Aaron Rodgers for a few seasons in Green Bay. They have a good relationship. I don't know. I could see it.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it's like absurd, but it's definitely highly unlikely.
Well, I have two theories. I just have the other one. Okay. One, they just kind of want the Colts to tank, so they hire a coach with no experience. Then they get like the first overall pick, and they get Bryce Young or whatever the quarterback, instead of just keeping like recycling these old quarterbacks. Like, hey, let's go out and get a generational talent. Then the other one too is, I think the Colts been trying to lure Peyton Manning in as a GM for a few years, and he keeps saying no. And him and Jeff Saturday are like really, really good friends. So They think that by hiring Jeff Saturday, it's kind of like a look, Peyton, we'll hire your buddies. We just need you to come in because you want your football mind to be GM. So I think this is more of them trying to lure Peyton in.
Peyton Manning would be an excellent football coach if he ever decided to go to coaching.
Absolutely. I also think he'd be really good GM. He's really good at spotting talent, and I think that's what he'd be more so. Like, hey, well, your buddy's the head coach. Why don't you come be the GM and you two just run
like
this?
You have all these young players like coming in from college and shit. Like Peyton Manning is your GM or head coach. Like that'd be a huge like hey, come play for us kind of thing. Especially
if you combine my two theories and they are looking for a new young quarterback. They want Peyton be in that draft room to evaluate all the talent, and then also be around the facilities after you draft them to kind of be like a mentor inside the organization. Kind of like what they wanted John Elway to do in Broncos, and they got Russell Wilson instead.
Oh man. But anyways, next up,
I can see it.
Go ahead. You could just.
All I was gonna say is I can see it.
Okay. Next up, the Chargers and the Chiefs in Week 11 has been flexed to Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Chiefs will probably beat the shit out of them, but it might be closer than we think.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be us.
What was it? Us and
Bungles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so it sucks or not. Like, it's more of like odd stuff.
Are you gonna pick Steelers for the reason I might pick the Steelers?
Oh I have it. I have that in my wagers.
Okay.
For next week.
All right, we'll table that then. We'll table that.
No, but I'm saying it sucks. Kind of sucks because for work I've been playing an event for months around this Steelers having a Sunday football that week. It doesn't affect it. Would have been really bad if it got flexed to 1 p.m. game.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's only a 4:25.
Okay.
But it's like I had to plan a whole like vendor show that we historically don't do as well on whenever Steeler games happen. So I found a week where the Steelers are playing Sunday Night Football to schedule it.
Yeah.
And now they got flexed out of it, and I was like, oh no, because that would make the attendance like cut in half.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work in. It goes till 3 p.m. So we're fine at 4:25 there, but still.
Then last week, despite Baker Mayfield returning to the field in the loss to the Bengals, the Panthers are rolling with PJ Tucker for Thursday Night Football against the Falcons.
It's not PJ Tucker. It's PJ Walker. PJ Tucker.
Yeah, I was thinking the Heat. My bad.
Yeah.
Did you read that on the notes and didn't try to correct me?
No, I didn't read it. I didn't read it until right now.
PJ Tucker.
have the notes pulled up. I'm reading along with you. I just noticed as PJ Tucker as you read it, because whenever you sent me the notes earlier, I bruised through and I didn't read it, so I didn't know until right
I thought
second.
you saw. You're like, I'm gonna let him walk into that one.
No, I noticed it as you started reading the headline.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, PJ Walker. I guess the one for PJ Walker thing I heard, I kind of agree with, is like he just did they just play the Falcons and he played very well. He had like 350 yards against them. He had that Hail Mary that DJ Moore screwed up by taking his helmet off. That would have won him the game. That's why they're doing it. But Baker played good. I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
PJ Walker looked so bad. He's like 9 total yards in the whole first half.
Yeah, the Bengals were just rolling, man. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
They just kept scoring and scoring.
Yeah, the Baker came in a half, scored 21 points, and went off. Ugh. So I don't know why you're rolling with him, but I can see. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird situation to me.
I think they're just tanking.
I think that might be too, because they see a Baker might win him a game or two. Like Baker might win him this game. They don't
we got to keep Baker another year. We can't draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
Then next up, Bears quarterback Justin Fields set a quarterback record with 178 rushing yards in the loss to the Dolphins. Trivia: who did he pass on the list?
Can you give me like a block of a few years so I'd know where to target my guess at?
Early 2000s.
Vic?
Yeah. Week 13 against the Vikings with 173 yards. This is a regular season record, but the record for the playoffs, I thought I just mentioned, Colin Kaepernick with 181 against Green Bay.
Ooh, that's a lot.
You remember that? I remember that game. It was insane.
I kind of do.
He ran all over him. It was nuts.
Yeah, that is nuts. No, I mean, this was nuts. And I knew Vic would be the answer. Even if you didn't put the...
Yeah, it was an easy one. But I was like, I kind of want to throw trivia in.
It's an easy one, but I also didn't want, like, what if it's like Lamar Jackson last year? And I just forgot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I wanted to make sure. No, but yeah, watching this game was nuts. Well, I didn't watch the game. I watched Red Zone, but I was invested in that game a lot because that's my wager, which obviously did not hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever.
All right, taking it over to segments. So first up, guys gut wrenching moments. Just 2 real quick ones here. I didn't want to table them for next week because they were pretty gut wrenching. First up, Adam Schefter just impersonating Kirk Cousins at Monday Night Football Countdown. Dude, Adam Schefter needs to stop.
I disagree. I thought this was hilarious.
Dude, I was like, come on, man.
I think when he was gritting and he ruptured his Achilles, that was like cringe.
Yeah.
But this I thought was funny because he committed to it and took his shirt off. That's what made it funny to me.
Yeah, and then I had another one, dude. Were you watching the Commanders and Vikings game? And did you see the ref fuck up the possible interception for the Vikings? It was insane. Yeah. So
Curtis Samuel scored the tutty.
Yeah, no, it was the Commanders, but yeah.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel.
Oh, Curtis Samuel, yeah, he scored. I thought you said the Eagles. My bad.
No, Curtis Samuel's the one who's got the touchdown off that play.
Yeah. So you just see the ref, like he's standing in the back of the field. You have Curtis Samuel and the cornerback running to the end zone, contesting the ball. The ref is trying to get out of the way of Curtis Samuel and the defensive back. And in turn, I think he ran into like Harrison Smith or someone like that. In the other back, like the other safety back there, and hit that safety who was going up for the interception. That defensive back missed the pick. Curtis Samuel got the ball, fell in for a touchdown. That's some bullshit, man. I don't know. Something's got to be done about that.
That's messed up. It was messed up.
It's messed up. Like I know it. Like imagine if the Commanders win that game. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of fuckery. I don't know.
I think absolutely.
I think the NFL has to kind of prepare a rule for that just in case. Yeah, it's like a wake up call kind of play right there to me.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can really do. I mean,
I don't know. Give them half the yards and keep it the same downs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's very rare that they're probably
about it.
That is. I mean, that to me, that's just like that sucks, man. That's like when a tree branch falls on your car. It's like,
yeah,
honestly, nothing you can do about it, man. That just sucks.
True.
Because I'd feel worse for Vikings fans if that was the reason they lost.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like imagine the Commanders won. Crazy.
If that was a game-winning play, that'd be nuts.
Mm-hmm. Then taking it over to my grandiose gangs. Little shakeups this week with the losses, but first up I have the Eagles. They are still undefeated, so they're still number 1. Number 2, I have the Chiefs. With the Bills losing to the Jets, the Chiefs moved up to the number 2 spot finally. Yeah. Number 3, I have the Vikings. They're killing it. I don't know what else to say.
This is a real test for the Vikings this week.
Yeah, this is a big test for the Vikings. Number 4, I have the Bills. Slight drop down. Like they didn't get crushed by the Jets. It was just a shitty loss. Possibly Josh Allen's playing hurt too. I didn't want to like ruin them for it, because they're still going to be like Super Bowl contenders by the end of the season.
I mean, hell, they lost last year to the Jaguars. So like them losing to the Jets is at least a little more respectable for them.
Exactly. Yeah. Number 5, I have the Cowboys. I think they were on bye last week.
They were.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, not really much change there. Number 6, I have the Dolphins. Played an awesome game against the Bears. Pulled out the victory. Dolphins are back. 2 is undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, I have the Jets beating the Bills. Very reputable win, obviously. I guess Zach Wilson just didn't try to make a play and just threw it away. So he didn't throw interceptions and make bad plays. So it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Then number 8, I have the Giants. I think they were on bye too.
They were.
Yeah,
they were.
So not much of a change there. Number 9, I have the Seahawks. I mean, they just keep winning, and I don't know what's going on. It's weird. I'm just going to put them at 9, and I'm going to say that's that. And then 10, I have the Ravens. How do you feel about that?
I think so the first time in a while I don't disagree with anything really.
Mm-hmm. If anything, I can see you swapping Ravens Seahawks, but
the only thing I would say is maybe put the Giants at 10 and just move those two up.
Yeah,
because they didn't play. In the last time they played, they lost to the Seahawks.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, I should have done that actually. Now I think about it, but yeah, that's your grandiose gangs. Do you want to take it away with your weenies and wagers?
Yeah, let's go weenies off the top. Like I said, Taquan Graham. I said Taquan Smith before. It's Taquan Graham as the D tackle from the Falcons who pick up the fumble recovery, then end up fumbling immediately after. So that's a weenie, but I don't want to pound on too much. Another honorable mention was anyone who watched the Rams versus Bucks game. You are a weenie if you watch that game.
I didn't watch it.
I did. I'm the biggest weenie ever. Not only did I lose the pick and pick'ems, I also the game-winning drive almost lost me in fantasy because I had Rams defense at 14 points, and then they let that touchdown up and went from 14 to 4. At the very end of the game, man. That took 10 points away from me. I ended up winning by the skin of my teeth, but I was very upset for that game. Very upset.
Yeah.
But let's actually take it to the real 3 weenies. Number 3, we got Josh McDaniels / the Raiders. The Raiders followed up a 24-0 blowout loss to the Saints with blowing a 17-0 lead against the Jaguars. Devontae Adams voiced his frustration after a loss. Quote, "There's no reason why we should be losing games like this. And it's frustrating. If we played for a shitty team, it's one thing to think, but that's not what it is. Basically saying, if I was on a shitty team, it makes sense why we're losing these games, but we're not a shitty team, so why are we losing these games? It's frustrating. Josh McDaniels is probably the reason why they're losing these games. As a head coach, as of right now, he is 13-23. It's rough. And right now, to drop a little 50-yarder.
Okay.
For people, Josh McDaniels is the next coach to be fired.
Yeah.
Chronologically, the next coach to be fired will be him. So he took last year with Rick Bisicchia for most of the year.
Who probably be doing better than him right now.
They finished 10-7 in a playoff spot. Right now they're 2-6.
Yeah,
and they've lost to teams like the Jaguars, like the Saints, that they should be winning with the team they have. They literally brought in Devontae Adams, and
They did nothing but
They're
improve.
worse. They did nothing but improve, but somehow they're worse. The only difference is their head coach. So Josh McDaniels, I mean, he sucked with the Broncos. He went 8-8, then like 3-10 or something like that. Or I mean 3 and whatever. He's 13-23.
Yeah.
Do
you think McDaniels gets hired anywhere else?
I think as offensive coordinator, yes, he's a great offensive coordinator.
As a coach, though.
No, as a head coach.
Do you think he turns tail and goes back to the Patriots?
I think
Matt Patricia.
I think he would. And I think they would have him back. I mean, why wouldn't I mean, it seems like the Patriots need him too. Their offense has been so garbage this year.
Yeah, yeah.
So like both parties in that transaction are suffering without each other. They need to come back together to kind of get working.
It's like that SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob went to the chum bucket to work as a fry cook.
It's just a grill. Not the stove, I know. Trade it all away. It really is.
Oh, man.
Belichick and McDaniels. So, yeah, that's number 3. Number 2, I have the Colts. So for everything you mentioned earlier about like the coaching switching and how there's no one ever called plays before, I had a whole thing before that even came out. So on Sunday against the Patriots, the Colts were 0 for 14 on third downs.
Oh.
Over 14.
Jesus.
Sam Ehlinger had 43 net yards. So he had 103 passing yards and minus 6 yards from 9 sacks. The only scoring drive the Colts had was 8 plays for 18 yards and a field goal.
Dude, they're so bad.
Them
are the Broncos. I don't know who's the most disappointing.
Broncos.
Yeah, probably.
Or Raiders or Cardinals.
Yeah.
But also, wait, they ran 60 plays total, and they only had 121 total yards. Sam Ehlinger didn't complete a pass until midway through the second quarter. That's insane. And it's not on him. That offensive line was just a tissue paper.
Yeah.
He was under pressure all day. It's insane.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so the Colts, just as in general, they obviously fired Frank Reich, who we mentioned, and we did all that stuff with the draft Saturday, but their stats was like the worst stats I think I've actually looked at a game and saw. And so this is like the first time in a while where the weenies actually are just like, look at how bad this team is. Like I feel like that's like was my original concept. Like you do the top teams and I just do the bottom teams, but then turn into more of like, oh, that guy's a weenie for doing this, or more funny sometimes. This is back to where it started with this team's statistically awful. And then number 1 is another duo of Aaron Rodgers / the Packers. So apparently they made offers for the trade deadline. They made offers to Chase Claypool, Darren Waller, and DJ Moore, but they all got rejected. So like where people didn't think that he went for him, like the Packers didn't go for him, they did. They just didn't get it done.
I'd imagine that those teams did ask for like a lot in return. So I don't know. I don't necessarily blame them, but
what would the I mean, like we took a second rounder for Claypool.
Yeah, I feel like you could have given more for that. But do you want to give more for that, like at the same time?
When you're desperate for a receiver, I would. Yeah.
True. But DJ Moore, that's the one where it's like that should have happened.
That should have happened. That absolutely should have happened.
Darren Waller I can understand. Chase Claypool I can maybe understand.
Yeah, but all you have to do is outbid a second-round pick. You could have a second-round pick and a third-round pick.
Yeah.
Those could have your teeth.
Maybe the Steelers were just like still upset about the whole Super Bowl. I was like, fuck you guys. We're trading with the Bears.
Yeah, I think what it was the Bears second-round pick is just way more valuable than
true
for the Green Bay, especially if they get a wide receiver. Also, they lost to the Lions, obviously. Aaron Rodgers had total. Okay, some stats. Aaron Rodgers had only 1 pick in the last 3 years against divisional teams, and on Sunday he had 3.
Yeah,
he had 3 picks.
He was bad.
Also, this is the first time he had 3 picks in a game in the last 5 years.
Jeez.
They are also on a 5-game losing streak, which ties Aaron Rodgers along all-time longest losing streak.
I think Aaron's definitely. I think washed is a bit strong, but I think at the same time I do blame the receivers more, like the lack of depth on receiver more. But the only thing is like he's had that before and he's been successful. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure where to peg it.
yeah. I mean, definitely think he's getting older, and he needs more help around him than he could in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is more. I mean, I think it's way more worse on the Packers the fact that they brought him back, paid him all that money.
Yeah.
And that's just a bad move. Like,
if anything, it's on him for taking all that money, knowing you're not going to have any money to pay anybody else.
Yeah.
I understand get your bag, but like you're Aaron Rodgers, you've had your bag for the last like 7 years, 8 years.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers also has personality. I can see him just not giving a fuck. Like, hey, I have a Super Bowl ring. I'm gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Just giving me money. I'm just gonna be a shithead.
Keep it up.
That's his personality. He's just a shithead. I kind of like him. It's just he's a
That's
shit.
why I play for the team, the green and the gold. Give me it.
I mean, I keep seeing people like, when are they gonna start putting Jordan Love in?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The take that I saw that Aaron Rodgers of the Colts thing was his mindset was also get Jordan Love in there now and just tank and get Bryce Young. It was like
Jordan Love did not look good when he had to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. All right. Oh, wagers of the week. That's weenies. Wagers. I don't know, man. I have 3 possible ones. They're all the same game. I just don't know where to be. I'll start to buy you. I'll let you pick it this week.
Okay.
So I was originally thinking whoever the Colts are playing, they don't have a coach that can play call. I'm just gonna bet the spread on whoever they're playing. Mm-hmm. But it's the Raiders. The Colts are playing the Raiders.
I wouldn't touch that game.
And the Raiders they're giving the Raiders 6 points. So I went from maybe with the new interim head coach, teams always play better originally. So I think the Colts can cover that. But then I keep going back to, but no one's called a play in their staff at all. So how can they not like do good?
Yeah, I'd stay away from that game.
But here's where I had third option.
Okay.
The under. It's 42.5 points.
I do like that.
I kind of want to go the under there.
I do like that.
The Colts offense isn't going to be good. The Raiders offense could be good. I mean, Devontae Adams can go off like he did 2 weeks ago or last week. What was it? 2 weeks ago?
Doesn't mean they're going to score though.
No, sorry, that's last week. He hit 35 fantasy points in the first half.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, so like Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs can score, but like, are they going to score enough? I don't know. And I don't see the Colts score at all. So I think my wager of the week this week is going to be the under that game.
Okay. I have a wager. I'll throw to you too.
Oh.
So do we want to talk about the Carolina lost teams to play Carolina thing?
No, because they're on bye, the team that they played.
The Bengals?
Yeah, they're on bye.
Oh, but they play the Steelers next week.
Yeah, it's always gonna be my wager next week.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, never mind.
That's what I mean. I put it down for.
I'm sorry. I thought they played this week. My bad.
No, we play the Saints this week.
Gotcha. Okay,
we're
black and gold.
Yeah, we're next week.
That was my mistake. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. No, but we will talk about that. We can talk about it
next
now.
Week.
That's gonna be my wager next week.
All right.
There's a curse with anyone who plays the Panthers. The next week they lose, or the next game. Not even the next.
Yeah, they're 0-8
game.
0-8.
Yeah. So even though the Bengals are on bye, the next team they play is against the Steelers in Pittsburgh
with TJ Watt back.
Yeah, I already thought we were gonna win that game anyways, but now that on. So we'll put a big bookmark on that.
We're gonna talk about. Yeah,
it's gonna be the wager next week.
Before we get into pick'ems, I did want to cover my fantasy favorites.
There's also another wager next week that I might have 2 next week because there's another. It's like another team's on bye. I'll talk about it real quick because I don't even know the whole stat, but I don't know who what the outcome is. 2 Jets fans flipped a coin for every game, and they wrote down the results, and they're 8-0 or 9-0, whatever it is. So they are undefeated on that. They're on bye this week, but I want to go look at the list next week and see who they're playing and bet that. Even though I know everybody is doing it, so the luck's gonna run out soon.
Yeah,
but it's just insane right now. Okay, continue.
But yeah, I did want to take it before we get into the pick'ems. My fantasy favorites this week. I didn't get a chance to record it on a TikTok, so I wanted to have it for the YouTube presentation. Starting off for my week 10 fantasy favorites. My start of the week, wide receiver AJ Brown. Eagles are playing the Commanders this week. The Commanders have allowed 36.5 points per game to the wide receiver position. Granted, they have been playing better as of late, but the Commanders did trade cornerback William Jackson to the Steelers, so it should at least open up the field more. So I think AJ shines in this one. My bench of the week. Yeah. My bench of the week is going to go to running back Jonathan Taylor. So this might be a hot take. A lot of experts, quote unquote, are saying Taylor's going to open up this week against the Raiders' shitty-ass running defense. But the Colts are terrible too. So I think with the new head coach and the new offensive schemes they're be trying, plus nobody knows how to call play on the Colts, I think even if Taylor is healthy, I don't think he's going to do well in this game. So I'm not going to buy into all this hype they're trying to give Taylor for like this late season push he's going to have. I don't buy it. I think he's like a flash in the pan running back, had one good year, and then we're not going to see much else of him. I might be biased because I have him. But it is what it is. I'm going to bench him.
This isn't come out till Friday, so I can say this in the pod. In my league, someone dropped him. So I added him. And
I add him with like a waiver wire pickup. Yeah, so, sure.
I have a claim on him, but that doesn't process till Friday, so I don't know.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I also agree, but just throw him on your bench. Like you're saying, bench him. Throw him on your bench, and maybe he'll work out.
Yeah. And then my ad of the week, tight end Cole Kmet on the Bears. So hear me out. Justin Fields has been balling out recently. I know DJ Mooney is the major receiver there, and now with Claypool, he will be getting looks as well. But personally, I think if you're in a pinch for tight end, I think Cole Kmet could be up and coming and probably more readily available in most leagues. He had a huge game last week with like 22 fantasy points, and I think he will be a shoo-in for at least 8 to 10 points a game in the PPR formats. And if he scores, you get a great day for a tight end right there. So I'm going to say go out there and add Cole Kmet. The Bears offense is thriving right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. He had an insane game last week. I actually almost picked him up in the one league. I didn't.
Yeah. And then my cut of the week is going to go to wide receiver Robert Woods on the Titans. No matter what quarterback Woods has, he has not done shit all season with only one game with more than 40 yards receiving. The team is yet again the Derrick Henry show, and they will not throw the ball enough to make Woods viable. So cut him.
I saw a stat where so far this season, all of the Titans wide receivers have combined 600 and some yards. Yeah. AJ Brown has 700 and something yards. Yeah. And all the Titans wide receivers combined for 1 touchdown, and AJ Brown has 7.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
Dude, it's wild. But yeah, it's my fantasy favorites. So let's take it over to the week 10 pick'ems.
Pick'ems. All right, so we're recording on Wednesday, so there is no Thursday night game going on. So this is an actual pick we're gonna have to put in early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so right off the top, we have the Crackheads in Carolina versus the Panthers. The Crackheads are 3-point favorites.
Oh, I'm going Falcons. I'm assuming you are as well.
Let me check my list. Yes, I'm back to the list, boys and girls. The Falcons, I think are going to win. The Panthers played the Falcons great last game. They played each other 2 weeks ago, but Falcons are going to win. Next, we have a German game. Yeah, it's over in Munich, Germany.
Oh yeah, that's so good. Isn't that Dutch?
What?
Isn't that Dutch?
Oh, guten Tag. No.
Dutch and German are very similar.
Their accents are very similar. So is Swiss.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in the region. Their accents are very similar.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah.
That's Tom Brady.
My Wittgenstein is how you say my last name in German. Fun fact. Anyway, we have the Seahawks in Germany versus the Bucks at 9:30 a.m. The Bucks are 2.5-point favorites. I don't know about that.
I'm going Seahawks.
I also have Seahawks written down. I think. I mean, I guess they're giving it to the Bucks to the spread because international. There's probably more international fans for Tom Brady than there are Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think Germany's going to be getting up and making it like the 12th man or something like that. You know?
Yeah. Germany got lucky with this because beginning of the season, this is probably going to be a stinker of a game.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's this could actually be a decent game. So
yeah, I mean the Bucks are awful, but
mm-hmm.
You never know. I mean, Seahawks playing really well.
Well, wait, how long's the flight from Seattle to fucking Germany?
They'd probably have to go the other way.
Yeah.
Oh, the Pacific. That's probably what they do. They're probably
It's probably easier. Yeah,
probably
that actually might be better than going across the Atlantic, because the Earth's rotation.
Yeah.
You'd rather go opposite of the rotation of the Earth because then it's a shorter flight.
Yeah, that's true.
Seahawks,
definitely Seahawks. It's
definitely
hammer the
Seahawks.
That's my new wager of the week. Hammer the Seahawks.
This is why you listen. We give you these hard hitting facts right here.
You know, I might just make that my wager of the week. I might do it.
Seahawks money line.
Seahawks money line. I actually might do that. All right. I mean, there's no money in my account, so I'm not going to add anything. Well, I always do my wager. I have to. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right. Next game, Broncos in Tennessee versus the Titans. Your beloved Titans are going against Russell Wilson. And they are the Titans are a 2.5 point favorite.
Yeah, I think the Titans cover this as well. Titans are playing at home. They're coming off a tough loss to the Chiefs. And I don't know, man. Like the Broncos, they can't do shit. Like, so I'm not taking the Titans or the Broncos. I mean, I'm not taking
me either.
The Broncos can't score in the red zone.
I give up on the Broncos.
Yeah.
37 over under 37. I'm taking the under.
I think the over can hit because the Titans defense is bad.
Yeah,
I think
the
big
Broncos
plays.
offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think I think if the Broncos are going to score, it's going to be like 30-yard touchdowns, like out of the red zone.
That's true. You know what? Wager of the week right there. The over. All right. Next game, we have the Brands in Miami versus the undefeated Tua and the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are 3.5 point favorites.
I'm going Dolphins. I'm assuming you're doing the same.
Absolutely. Tua's undefeated. They ain't losing now. Next, we got the Lions in Chicago versus the Bears. Bears are 3-point favorites. I'm going with the Bears. I'll let you think. I already have my mind made up. I'm going with the Bears. That offense, Justin Fields has been playing very well. Their defense has holes in it, but so does the Lions defense. The Lions defense was a miracle last year. Last week they played good against the Packers. So yeah, I'm definitely going Bears here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bears too. They're playing hot football right now, and the Lions. I think this will be like a contested match, but I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next we have the Vikings in Buffalo versus the Bills. The Bills are 3.5 point favorites.
What's Josh Allen's status? Like
questionable. He's still projecting points on fantasy, which means this looks better. However, I was about to say this earlier. I stopped because I figured I'd talk about it here. I think even with Case Keenum in the lineup, the Bills can still win that game. Yeah. The Vikings are good, but that Bills team is so good, and Case Keenum's not that bad of a backup where it's gonna be tighter. I think Josh Allen plays, they might win like decently easy, but like it's definitely gonna be tighter. But I could definitely see Case Keenum still winning, so I'm going Bills. No matter who's quarterback.
Like I just worry because like I feel like they'll play Josh Allen. He's gonna play hurt. He's not gonna play that well, and I think they can't really they don't have a run game to like fall onto. I mean, Nyheim Hines is like a good ad, but he's a pass catching back. So like, if Josh Allen is hurt, it's not gonna help them much.
I mean, I'm not making you go Vikings here. I think Vikings would be a safe pick them to go, especially I think because if Josh Allen doesn't play, I think the Vikings are going to be favored.
I'm going Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if Josh Allen plays, like you say he's hurt. I mean, I think it's a safe one to go to if you're thinking about I need something off the wall here to get a point.
Well, I'm looking ahead too, and I think we'll have some differences here, but in case we don't, I think this is a decent one to go separately on.
Especially if Josh Allen.
I will state for the record though, I'm banking this solely on Josh Allen either playing hurt or being out.
I agree. All right, next we got our Houston spread of the week. We have the Texans in New York versus the Giants. Giants are 4.5 point favorites. It's my turn to pick.
Yeah, what are you saying?
I'm going 8 points here.
8 points?
Yeah, I think it's could be a Giants win easy. Yeah.
Giants home.
Giants are home.
I'll go over.
Nice. Yeah, it's one of those games I think it could be a blowout or it could be tight. That's why I wanted to go 8 points there because I can kind of see.
Yeah, that's a nice. That's a nice spread pick. That's a nice spread pick.
Yeah. I'm usually really trash at picking the spreads, so I like that.
You've been consistent the past few weeks, to be honest.
Yeah.
You've been getting the bonus point. Like I've been winning the matchups recently, but you've been getting the bonus.
Well, only last week. The week before I didn't get it because when it was my turn to pick, I picked 3.
Oh yeah, that's right. But I think before that you had like the last 2.
Yeah. Oh well, that's never been my strong suit doing the spreads.
Mm-hmm.
Next we have the Jaguars in Kansas City versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites.
I mean Chiefs, right?
Yeah, I'm just kidding. And finally, the last 1 o'clock game, we have the Saints in Pittsburgh versus Steelers. The Saints are 1.5-point favorites.
I'm going Steelers here because TJ Watt's back. I'm assuming you're doing the same.
I have the Steelers here. I think it's a travesty that we're underdogs in this game.
I think Andy Dalton's going to see ghosts when he comes to Pittsburgh.
I think we're going to destroy them.
I won't say destroy. I'll say like a 10-point lead.
That's 2 scores.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 scores. We're going to say
I thought you said destroy.
2 scores.
Okay. Yeah.
2 scores.
I wouldn't say the 10 points is destroying.
It is when it's the Steelers.
Okay. Yeah.
These
are both bad teams.
It is when we're 2-6. If we get a win by 2 scores, that's destroying.
But they're also 2-6, I believe.
Are they? Yes,
I think they are.
Let me look. I don't even know. They're 3-6.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
they didn't have their bye yet.
Yeah.
But all right, 4 o'clock games. We have 3 this week instead of 2, which is nice. First, the toilet bowl I said earlier, the Colts versus Raiders. At 4 or 5. I saw on my list, I wrote Colts, then crossed them out and put Raiders. So I have no idea. I literally have no idea. I honestly might just go opposite whatever you take. No, I'm going Raiders.
I'll go Colts.
I need fantasy wise, I need Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs to have good weeks, and so I'm going to go Raiders because I have Devontae Adams down my other league.
I'm going to take it just in case my Jonathan Taylor take goes horribly wrong.
And he goes off.
He just goes off.
Could happen too.
It could.
Raiders defense is not great, so I can see that happening too. Our next 425, we have the Cowboys in Lambeau versus the Packers. The Cowboys are 5-point favorites.
I mean, I'm saying Cowboys too. The Packers are done.
I have the Cowboys as well. And then I don't like this next pick. My gut made me pick earlier. We have the Cardinals in LA versus the Rams. The Rams are 2-point favorites, and I have the Cardinals.
You have the Cardinals.
They're the team that I just keep picking each week, and I'm like, they have to turn it around. This
division's weird.
Because the Rams aren't that great.
I think Sean McVay is the one that owns Cliff Kingsbury, right?
It's true, yeah. It is. Forgot about that.
I'm Googling it.
You're right. I mean, no one else does. Then Shanahan owns McVay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Yeah, it's a good call. I'm sticking with the Cardinals. My gut told me to, and because I really want D-Hop to go off this week.
I think he can. I just think the loss of Budda Baker is going to be a big hit. Cooper Kupp's going to ball out. I don't know. Both these teams stink, and they probably won't make playoffs.
Yeah. Stafford's also questionable. He might not play.
Oh, fuck.
I just thought of that. He is in concussion protocol.
Fuck. Who's their backup?
I have no clue. I'll look real quick. I have the rosters pulled up over here.
Deep dive that.
Yeah. So roster.
John Walford.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that?
He played last year a little bit.
Ugh.
He played 2 years ago when Jared Goff had that broken thumb and he was playing. He didn't do that bad. Injuries. Let's just check his status. See if they switched it.
I'll stick with Rams. I'm
reading our report real quick.
I'll stick with it. But I will say for the record, if Matt Stafford doesn't play, Cardinals should win this game.
It doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I wish we could do these picks on like Sunday morning, but it is what it is.
So I mean, it's okay. It's kind of like how the Bills are right now with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, there's 2 more games. Sunday Night Football. We have the Chargers in San Fran versus the 49ers. The 49ers are 7-point favorites. I think the 49ers are going to destroy the Chargers. The Chargers are so hurt.
Yeah, this is the team. This is the game where the Chargers just lose it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 49ers as well.
Yeah, like the Chargers have such like a good skill players, quarterback, and they have a really good defense, and they have a really good offensive line, and they have a really good everything.
And they barely escaped Atlanta.
It's just half their team is hurt. It's
they barely escaped Atlanta, and now they're going to the 49ers, who are a much better defense and a more formidable offense. So
especially with Christian McCaffrey now. Yeah, it's nuts. But all right, then finally, Monday night game, we have Washington versus Philly. In Philly, the Eagles are 11-point favorites.
I'm going Eagles, but I think Commanders cover low key.
I'm going Commanders. They lost to the Vikings they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Vikings are due. Eagles are due for a loss.
They are due.
I'm going Eagles. I mean,
I know. I already wrote down Eagles. So.
But I mean, this does seem like a trap game.
I mean, that's the thing is though, we've been saying trap game for the last 3 weeks. So
it's because every team they play is shitty. in the trap games when a shitty team somehow upsets a good team, they just have not played any good teams.
Yeah, my buddy, he's an Eagles fan, and he was like, "Do you think they'll lose a game?" And I was like, "I mean, looking at their schedule, I'm going to say either the Giants, one of the 2 times they play them, the Cowboys with Dak back, or the Titans is where they're going to lose."
Because Cowboys will also be in Dallas. I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think they'll finish with 2 losses. Because I also think whenever they play last week of the season, everyone will rest. And they'll lose that game too. Because they already have a loss already, so they're not going to be looking for perfection.
Yeah, that'll be a bullshit loss. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's all we got for NFL.
Kinda. We got to take it over to our midseason awards and predictions.
Yep. Yeah. See you over there.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.